Our starting point this morning is the limp start to 2020 for South Korea's economy. The country posted its biggest economic contraction since the 2008 global financial crisis in the first 3 months of this year. Self-isolation and COVID-19 health concerns slammed consumption and forced thousands of businesses to close. For more, we have our Yoon Jung-min on the line for us. So, Jung-min, a downswing was to be expected given the dire circumstances, but walk us through the numbers.
Sure, Semin. The Bank of Korea revealed this morning that South Korea's first quarter GDP growth was down 1.4% from the previous quarter. This is the biggest drop in over 11 years since the fourth quarter in 2008, when the world economy was enduring the peak of the global financial crisis. On year, the country's GDP grew 1.3%, but that's also the lowest growth in around a decade. Private consumption fell 6.4% as goods and services were hammered by the COVID-19 outbreak. Growth for South Korea's wholesale, retail, restaurant, and accommodation sectors fell over 6%, while transportation plunged over 12%. Government spending edged up 0.9%. Construction investment expanded 1.3%, while facilities investment was up 0.2%. South Korea's exports were down 2%. This was mainly because of falling outbound shipments of cars, machinery, and chemical products. However, semiconductor exports were up. Imports dropped over 4% due mostly to crude oil and cars.
Now, Jung-min, we also hear that South Korea's finance chief convened a meeting this morning with related economy ministers. Now there, he warned of a greater COVID-19 economic impact in the second quarter. Tell us more.
Well, sure, Simon. Finance Minister Hong Nam-gi said there's a rising possibility the real economy and job market experience shocks during and after the second quarter due to the worsening global recession. Hong said recovery in investment and exports since the end of last year has somewhat cushioned a sharp decline for South Korea's GDP growth in the first quarter. He added the government will do its utmost to ensure domestic consumption and exports pick up in the second quarter, despite looming downside risks. The finance ministry is expected to focus on boosting job numbers in April and May. In June, the South Korean government will announce its economic policies for the second half of the year. Back to you, Semin.
Thank you, Yoon Jung-min, for those updates on the nation's GDP growth outlook.